Okay.
Okay, so I have a PowerPoint I'm going to share too. Let me bring that up. Okay. So, like I said, I got way too, not too, but more into the brain part of self-care than like, do this to take care of yourself, but with like material things. So, excuse me. We ultimately won't be able to create, oh, also, please get out pens and papers because I have some interactive stuff for you to do. So we ultimately won't be able to create the job or the business or the life that we dream of if we aren't taking care of us. So if you do have pen and paper or use your phone in your notes or whatever, I want you to right now, before I get into anything else, I want you to write down how you feel about self-care, like what it means to you as far as, is it something you practice a lot? Do you find that it's selfish? Do you do it a lot? Is it something that you are awesome at and you really take care of yourself? I'm just gonna wait a second and then I'll keep going. Because self-care is actually an advanced personal leadership skill. It's a way to give ourselves everything we need. So I'm going to just continue. If you guys are still writing, that's fine. We're the personal meters of our own life, and we give ourselves what we need. And like I said, this is not going to be about like material things. So the things that you need to give yourself are care, nurture, compassion, kindness, and concern. So being self-loving does not mean we think we're better. It doesn't mean that we're looking down or, we put ourselves up on a pedestal. We want to take care of our needs instead of projecting them on everyone else. I take care of my needs. I make myself happy. The only way to have self-care work is that it has to obviously come from you. You cannot rely or take other people's projections personally. For some of us, maybe we've grown up with the idea that self-care and taking time for yourself is selfish or egotistical. So if you're in the role of this people pleaser, maybe, I think this happens a lot in family dynamics. There's always one person that like is always trying to please everybody, take care of the family, and they're kind of left feeling like no one's taking care of them. So if you're in the role of people pleaser, those are the roles where you basically learn that you put others' needs ahead of your own. And I find, because I feel like I'm a people pleaser, used to be much more of a people pleaser. I didn't think I was. I didn't realize that I was putting other people's needs above my own. I mean, I think we all kind of know, but I didn't realize that I was like never putting myself first. So what happens is that you spend your time catering to everyone else's needs and there's very little left to you. Like literally no time, no energy to care for yourself. You're just mentally exhausted and you can resent people, you can become angry, and it just really takes a toll on like the way that you feel about yourself. So when you're in this role, there's no one coming to take care of you because you're always taking care of everybody else. They're used to taking and not to giving. So nobody's going to give anything back to you when you're in this role. So, I mean, you have to stop being a pleaser, and obviously that's easier said than done. But you will never be able to create the life you truly know is there for you when you're in this role. When you set boundaries or say no, the people on the receiving end of your care probably won't like that. They'll probably encounter anger and resentment. These are the things that we would rather not encounter, which is why we ultimately get trapped in this role. And we try to break out of it by saying no, but then feel bad like we're letting people down. So we just go back, and it's just a terrible cycle. But saying yes and saying no can be equally as caring for yourself and for whoever the other person is. It all depends on the context of where that is taking place and where you're at mentally. So here's 2 examples. If you have a high level of energy and you have a lot to give, and you know that your needs are already met, you saying yes to helping a friend move, that's okay. You've already taken care of yourself, so you can now give to others. But if you're really drained and super stressed, pressed for time, and a friend asks you to help her move, the same type of instance, say it's this evening, and you feel you have to say yes because otherwise you might lose that friendship, that's not self-caring. So ask yourself, where do I want to say yes, and where do I want to say no? What fits with me in my life? So anytime you are in the position to ask yourself this question, try to be conscious and actually ask it. It kind of goes back to what I posted in the Flexi group, where if you were our boss, based on the work you did today, would you fire yourself? I try to ask myself that, midday and at the end of the day. And if it's yes, I would fire myself, and I know that I need to get some work done. So it's kind of the same thing. Just really consider the outcome of your needs, not necessarily that person. She'll find someone else to help her move. We have to learn to say no in a way that doesn't make you feel guilty, shameful, or fear that you could potentially lose connection with the person you're saying no to. So you really have to start slow. You have to slowly learn to say no and feel okay about it. Don't be afraid of the other person's reaction, and knowing that their reaction is their reaction. It is their choice to react that way. It has nothing to do with you. You can't control how someone feels, and you have to trust that they are mature enough. So just another kind of little reflection. Are there specific areas in your life where you know you could treat yourself better? Answer yes or no. List things if you want. I've listed some examples. So specific areas in your life where you pleaser in your family, you're not treating yourself very good. Friendships, community, passions, relationships, and creativity. Those are just what I have. You can obviously choose what you want to write. The 5 people you surround yourself with, that's what you're going to take in and become. You, as you notice that they're acting they were with you. So there's 2 types, obviously, positive and negative. There's the people that are filled with negativity, why does this always happen to me kind of mentality, and they're going to drag you down, and you're going to start to think that way about yourself and feel that way about yourself, and it's a rabbit hole. Or you could choose to surround yourself with the people that are living and doing their passions. They're going to lift you up. They're going to inspire you to achieve your own goals. They're the people that you want to be around. People taking action. Okay. So I have the types of people that will lift you higher, because you want to be in that living and doing passion category. So you want to surround yourself with people who want you to put yourself first. They want you to put yourself first. And who understand that it is not bad or selfish to put you first. You want to surround yourself with people who do not try to control you. You want to surround yourself with people who are emotionally mature enough to take care of their own emotions and process their own expectations and control their own needs. You want to surround yourself with people who want to see you grow. Again, want is the key word. You want to surround yourself with people who want to create and fulfill their own dreams by talking about it, not, why does this always happen to me? I'm trying to do something. You want the people that are actually going to do something with it. So this is the self-assessment test. I want you guys to label your papers 1 through 10, just a list going down. So number 1, and say this out loud to yourself. When I feel sad, fear, or anxiety, I know exactly how to find peace and soothe myself. You're going to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being never, 10 being all. I know exactly how to find peace and soothe myself. Number 2, same scale all throughout the whole thing. I stay away from drama and negativity. 5 is obviously in the middle. Number 3, I take good care of my body by eating nutritious food and exercising regularly. Number 4, I feel at ease and comfortable when saying no, when it is true for me without feeling guilt, fear, or shame. Sorry. Number 5, I feel the universe and the people around me, again, the people you surround yourself with, are primarily good, kind, loving, and supportive. Number 6, I often have compassionate, loving, and kind feelings about myself. Number 7, I enjoy doing things to nurture myself. Number 8, I never speak badly about myself. Number 9, if something feels wrong to me, I do not do it. And number 10, I let go of what I cannot control with ease. I don't need you guys to add this up right now, but after we wrap everything up, I would like to add, so it's obviously going to be between 1, but I do recommend that you be easy on yourself. If you find that you have a low score, it doesn't mean that you hate yourself. It doesn't mean really anything bad other than you. Okay, this is a quote that I found, which we all know. But your value doesn't decrease reaction or projection onto you has to do with. So I want you to still continue list. So this is a list of ideas on how to nurture and take care, respectful care of yourself, kind care. Again, this doesn't have to be posted in the group, but just something to think about. So like really anything. You could start a gratitude journal. You could spend more time with your family. You could go dancing or dance in your kitchen. You could eat better quality food, go on more walks. Yoga's good, meditate, tapping, that kind of stuff. So just write that down for yourself. To get out of the negativity / victim / blaming space, I have 6 tips. Number 1 is to take responsibility. Number 2 is acceptance, which just means whatever situation you're in, accept it as if even if it's a terrible position, just pretend you chose it and accept it that that's how it is. Number 3 is emotional process. Number 4 is gratitude. Number 5, your needs. That's not somebody else cannot make you happy. This self-care has nothing to do with any other person. I don't care if it's your mother, your husband, your best friend. It's all on you. So radical self-care is just your needs, taking care of your needs. And then number 6 is to take action. Because where would anybody be if they didn't actually do anything about it? So that's all I have for the slide show. Does anybody have any questions about what I said? Or would like to get into anything deeper? Well, let me go back to when I asked you, how do you feel about self-care before I started? Before I told you what role you could be in or take care of yourself. Somebody volunteer.
I kind of
Nobody
did
wants to say
the question because you keep cutting out.
I am?
Yeah, pretty bad.
Did you tell me that?
I
Yes,
texted
you did 3 minutes ago.
I texted you.
Oh my gosh, I thought it was me. I was like, if I just log out and then log back in, I wonder if that'll fix it. I'm sorry, but
We see it a slideshow, and we got a lot of information from that. And it wasn't till the end. It wasn't till the end of the slideshow that it was started to get really.
yeah. Agreed.
But I loved the assessment test. That definitely got me thinking. And it's really sad when I saw what was really high on the list, like the high numbers, and what I have as low numbers. It's very eye-opening. Are you with us?
Very eye-opening. I wasn't. What?
Are you with us still?
Yes.
Okay.
Nobody's frozen on my end. That sucks.
No.
Record it and post it. So that's all for that, I guess. Think about the questions I asked. And be honest, though. Nobody has to know except yourself, which is probably the hardest. But
I think it's easy to be like,
okay, well, Sorry.
It's okay. There's a little bit of a delay here. I just think it's like super easy when you think of self-care to be like, okay, I'm going to drink, well, at least for me, this is where I struggle. Like I'm going to drink such and such, how much water I'm going to drink today, or I'm going to, get a workout in or read my personal development or something. But then when you actually think about self-care in terms of like how you're talking, how you're speaking to yourself, like I very rarely will say out loud something bad about myself, because when I first like wrote this down, I put in parentheses, I gave myself 2 different scores, like when it said how you talk about yourself, and I gave myself how I talk about myself out loud, which is a much higher score than how I talk about myself in my head. And that was like really eye-opening for me, because even though I don't say it out loud, I'm harboring those feelings and I'm holding on to those. So, and I don't always think of that as self-care, like how I talk to myself. So I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yep, that's probably the most important too.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure it is. So, did anybody else want to add anything or any questions or want to talk about anything? This is like a super vulnerable group, guys. This is not just, fitness. This is everything. Your sisters, women struggling with kind of the same sort of things probably. So use it as therapy. It's free therapy.
I really like what you pointed out about learning to say no without feeling guilt or like fear that someone's going to be upset with you or losing the connection, which to me I equate it with like not wanting to be your friend anymore, which I know sounds really childish, but that's just how I feel sometimes. Because that's probably the one thing I struggle with the most is just being able to, I really pull myself in a lot of directions so that I make sure that everyone has what they need, and I need to be better about that because it's not good for myself. So
you should read the book, The Best Yes.
Okay.
It's faith-based. I don't know if that would.
Oh no, yeah, no, that's fine.
But it's all about how to say no to people and how to decipher if something's actually really good for you and your family, or if you're really just trying to like make somebody else happy.
Yeah.
But I've actually started because I found myself always having, and I think a lot of people do, like if you watch people, it's like, what am I going to tell them about why I'm saying no? But this is more like say no without offering, like you don't owe anybody an excuse or a reason why not, like it doesn't fit into your life right now. It doesn't fit into, your priorities, your top priorities. So I've really gotten to where I just say no thanks, that's not going to work, or something like that, rather than trying to come up with an excuse.
Yeah. I just I think a lot of times I put a lot of pressure on myself because I feel like I don't measure up to like my sister and a lot of people, my cousins and stuff like that. They have really they just have done better, or I feel like they've done more than I have with my life, I guess. And I've had some stumbles along the way and stumbles that they haven't had. So I put a lot of pressure on myself. So I feel like to make up for that, I have to say yes to everything that anybody asks me to do. And especially and most importantly in my family. And so I know that, like I said, it pulls me in a lot of different directions. It spreads me out really thin. And so like you said, I've got to learn to just say, no, that doesn't fit with my schedule, or even have no interest in doing whatsoever. So
actually, sorry, I don't want to.
Yeah. I need that shirt that says, I'm sorry I was late, I didn't want to come.
Yeah. I need that too. That's so ridiculous. That's a really heavy burden though, to feel like you have to make up for your past mistakes in that way. That's heavy.
Yes. It's super heavy. I'm trying to get better about it, but it's a whole, if any of you have been divorced, but when it happens and you come from a family where your parents have been married for, almost 30 years, you feel like I'm doing it all the time. So, sorry to be a downer.
No, it's not being a downer. It's being real. It's real life.
Yeah.
So awkward silence after.
Anything else
Sorry,
you need
guys.
to address? That's the other thing too. I feel like awkward silence. I feel like people pleasers feel like they have to fill that space.
Yes.
That's kind of why,
Lindsay,
I used to hate talking on the phone so much too, because if there was any silence, I felt so responsible to like fill. Even now, like if we go into like a group setting and like nobody's saying anything, I feel so responsible to like, I have to say something and make everybody else feel comfortable in this situation. So, which is awkward in and of itself.
Yes.
I'm the worst small talker ever. So I'm just like,
and then there's like an awkward laugh that comes. I talk on the phone for a living, and I'm also a people pleaser, and I don't like awkward silence. So I'm just one big ball of awkward all the time. You guys have no idea. Some of you do. Lindsay probably does. Noelle maybe a little bit. I'm just awkward all day. You guys will understand when you meet me at Summit.
So speaking of personal development, is there a book for this that someone would suggest? Because I'm reading personal development right now, but it's not like a self-care book. It's like, a coaching personal development book. So I was wondering if there's like a specific book that you would suggest to go along with this group.
That is a very good question.
Mm-hmm.
Would you suggest Pretty Happy, Lindsay?
Sure. I haven't read it yet.
I thought you did read it. Sorry.
I started reading it.
Yes.
It's definitely along the lines of self-care. It's all about self-care, basically. I have a strong, I was watching a training the other day, and I realized I do this because I read like 5 different books at a time, just based on what like I feel like I need in that moment. I reach for that book. So I think as far as self-care goes and having a book that goes along with this, I think it's more like thinking about what is weighing you down. Like right now I'm dealing a lot with forgiveness for certain like personal reasons. I feel like it's weighing me down. So I bought a few books just based on like how to forgive and deep forgiveness and stuff like that. And that to me is self-care, because whether or not it goes along with what we're talking about, it's helping me to unburden myself with whatever's weighing me down. So like just figuring out where you're, if it's anxiety, if it's negative self-talk, that would help.
Did you read that Carry On Warrior book? Would that be good for this group?
Carry On Warrior. I think it's good for anything. It's really funny and it's really good. It's really a collection. It's easy reading because it's like a collection of essays. So it's like a bunch of different little stories, but within each story, there's like something to learn. There's a point, and I like it a lot. But it just depends on what you need for that self-care, what you need to feel better. I feel like everybody has something that like is keeping them from feeling, amazing in one area or another.
My cousin read The Happiness Project. Has anyone read that?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I haven't read it yet, but she kind of made it sound like it was more about, it was more about making yourself happy. You're doing, like, making the most of the time that you're given, etc. So I didn't know if that was along the same lines as what we're trying to accomplish in the group or not, because I haven't read it. But like I said,
I read that book like before I started coaching, and what she does is she breaks it up into, like, each month she works on something else. So like 1 month she works on being a better parent, and the next month she works on being more organized, and the next month she does something else, and kind of like one thing flows into the next, which I really enjoyed it because I got another book of hers called Better Every Day. She has a few different books. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know how to explain it other than that, is that she kind of like categorizes. It's like she just chronicles her days. Like she tells you kind of step by step what she did.
it got mixed reviews, so that's why I haven't read it.
Yeah, it's kind of, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed like the message, but I didn't love the way that it read.
Yeah, that's most of what the reviews say too.
Yeah.
So. Okay, cool.
There's a book that I came across. It's actually called The Book of Awesome, I think. And it's literally just like awesome things that you would never think of. It's not a book that you can just sit down and read. It's like a quick, I leave it by my bed. That way, like before I go to sleep, if I need like a smile or a laugh or something, I'll open it up and I'll read a couple of them. And some of them are just like stupid things that you would never think of, like how comforting it is to flip over your pillow and have it be cool on the other side, and then it's just like awesome, and then I smile, and then I close it and I go to sleep.
Oh, good.
It's
pretty cool.
That sounds awesome.
It is, actually. Some of it just makes me laugh because it's just so silly you would never think of it, but the fact that somebody like took the point to write all these like stupid things down, like it makes you smile. So if you just need like a quick pick me up and you don't want to read for like 15 minutes, it's kind of nice.
That sounds like a quick way to get some posts too.
Yeah, I posted a couple about it. It doesn't really get very many likes, but maybe I just don't post it right, but
sounds like a good book. What else? So were we gonna talk real quick about the point system, or did we next? I didn't catch up with it.
I didn't either. I think Courtney's gonna talk about it.
We can't hear you, Courtney.
All right. Okay. I'm still a little frazzled because like 5 minutes ago in the middle of all this, I look and Ben's hamster is running across the floor. So
Oh my gosh.
I did manage to catch it, but yeah. Anyway, okay. The baby's been obsessed with his hamster, and when I went to put him back in, one of the like tubes was pulled off. So I'm guessing that Ellis let him loose. Okay, so I'm pulling up Junalie's notes. She has it all. Okay. So when we were talking about this group, we thought it would be nice to like offer, what did we talk about, Lindsay? Like a self-care package, like a basket?
Yeah, like a keep it basket. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as a prize at the end. We don't want to be responsible for tracking everybody's participation or anything like that, though, so that's going to be completely up to you guys. But we did come up with some ways that you can track your own participation. And that's going to be right in the file section, the same way that we track our Success Club points and FlexiFit and all that stuff. And then at the end, you know, based on that, that's how the basket will be rewarded. So it's all based on self-care, obviously. The first way that you can get a point every single day is to post some sort of self-care selfie. So it could be just drinking water. It could be your workout. It could be a healthy meal, you reading your personal development, whatever you want it to be. So that's 1 point for 30 days. So up to 30 points, right?
20 days. It was Monday through Friday. We kind of just.
Right. Yep. Okay. So Monday through Friday, so for 20 days.
We got 4 of them. Awesome. Can we shut that off?
No, I can't. Shut it off. I'm in the middle of a meeting.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Bye, guys.
You brought me in a jug of lightning bugs. Can you shut your light off? No. Anyway, yeah, so that's 20 points. And then the other way that you could earn a point every single day for another 20 points Monday through Friday for the 4 weeks is to post about your PD takeaway that day. And then also, if you want to post your before and after pictures at the end of the group, that would be another 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like bonus points where each week after this meeting, there may or may not be, Lindsey, I don't know if you prepared and like a bonus activity for them. So for you, it might be like the quiz. I don't know.
And it could pop up
I
throughout.
didn't prepare anything.
It doesn't have to be right after this video. I mean, tomorrow Lindsey could pop in, the group with a bonus activity if she wanted to or not.
So if at the end of each of these or whatever, each week, a bonus activity, that would be another 5 points. So that would make it a total of 70 points, right? If everybody does the bonus activities.
Yeah. I think we'll make a graphic that would be, people can refer to if they.
I'll start the document in the file section, and I'll type up on the top.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Point is for.
Okay.
I'll help you. And since today's only day 2, it'll be easy to go back and include yesterday's.
Yeah.
And these are our posts in the group, right? Like selfies posted in the group, etc.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not touching like anything really about the business during that. So
Right.
whether you post on your personal page is totally up to you.
Perfect.
This is just like show up for yourself. That's all we want. That's the whole basis of posting anything in there, is just to encourage you to show up for yourself. Because this group, that's the only point to this group, really. Which I think is really cool that we're doing a group that has literally nothing to do with the technicalities of running a business.
I do too.
Okay.
I don't know about everyone. I don't know. I can't speak for everyone else, but I think it's a good idea. I think a lot of us are, I don't know, I personally probably need it. I posted earlier about being in sort of a fog here lately, and I think it'll be a good way to kind of exit that fog.
Yeah. I think the point is that we don't have anything to give other people if we're not taking care of ourselves. So when it gets to the point where your business seems stagnant, or you've lost the joy in it, or you don't want to show up, for other people or yourself, it gets to the point where you have to bring it back to, why did I start this in the first place? And the reason I started in the first place was to feel better about myself. So business aside, Success Club points aside, everything aside, it comes back to like, take care of yourself, and then the rest will follow. Because you can't do the rest if you're not doing that first. So, does anybody have any questions or anything to add? Next week we have Courtney.
Do you want to share what the rest?
The what?
I'm so delighted. I was hoping you were going to go into what the next 3 weeks were going to be.
Yeah, well,
That
I
you
was
started.
yeah. So next week, Courtney's going to be talking about goals. And I don't know if she's like breaking it up, but we kind of like we kind of designed this to hopefully make sense in the order that it's going. So Lindsey talked about self-care. Courtney's going to talk about goals. Junalie's going to take week 3 and talk about having a vision. And then I'm going to take week 4, wrap up, and talk about how not to be stressed in this business. And how not to, like, you know, stress yourself out over all your goals and your vision and your self-care. So that's the game plan for and then like whatever you guys want to add, like Lindsey talked all about self-care. If you guys find something super cool, like you guys are doing an amazing job adding into the group anyways, but this group is for everybody. So don't feel like it's just for the trainers to add training. Like you come across something like super cool that you want to share with everybody that has to do with self-care and stuff like that, make sure you're posting and teaching and helping us too. Okay.
I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
About the points. We're just keeping track ourselves, right? We're not putting the points into the document. We're just writing it down.
No, put the points into the document the exact same way you do with Success Club, just to keep it all in one spot and make it a little cleaner.
Okay. Got it.
I know with me, if I tried to just do it here, I would end up writing it in like 15 different places, and then I'd be like, I have no idea. I would never go in there.
Yeah. All right, ladies. I appreciate everybody jumping on. Thank you, Lindsey, for your PowerPoint. Now I feel like I have to make a PowerPoint, which I hate doing, but
I was just thinking that too. I was like, man.
No.
But definitely, yeah, that assessment, that little quiz thing was definitely eye-opening. So thank you so much. And everybody that showed up, you showed up for yourselves and you deserve a pat on the back. So great job. Keep showing up in the group. Love you guys. Talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.